It's been 26 years. 26 years since we last walked the streets of Southtown. And now SNK has done the unthinkable. There is something poetic about the return of Fatal Fury, a series once overshadowed by its crossover sibling King of Fighters, now stepping back into the spotlight. City of the Wolves isn't just a comeback story. It is SNK's biggest gamble in decades that brings another competition to the fighting game community. SNK didn't just revive Fatal Fury, but they refined it, meaning that you won't feel left out or being too late to jump into the City of the Wolves. It is stylish, bringing a fusion of legacy and an intricate new wave of characters and gameplay mechanics. I'm Arcadenaut here, and today I will try my best to pull you into this new fighting game that deserves your attention. So today, let's break down everything that makes Fatal Fury City of the Wolves one of the wildest fighting game comebacks in years. To understand why City of the Wolves matters, we have to rewind a bit, not just to Garou Mark of the Wolves, but all the way back to the 1991. While Capcom was laying the foundation for Street Fighter II, SNK was building a city of its own, a city called Southtown. Southtown was basically a place of crime and vengeance, with Terry and Andy Bogard chasing after the man who murdered their adoptive father, and Joe Higashi being the brothers' close friend accompanying their journey. The series brought us lane switching mechanics, a narrative focusing on rivalries and vengeance. Fast forward to 1999, Mark of the Wolves became the jewel of Fatal Fury. Precise timing requiring gameplay mechanics like Just Defend brought forth the defensive gameplay that allows offensive pressure and comeback for its players, with gorgeous pixel art showcasing charming stages and memorable characters. Mark of the Wolves was a new page, a new fresh wave for the series, but after that, a total silence. The Wolves went quiet as the King of Fighters series took the stage and became SNK's trailblazing IP. Behind all the grit and style, City of the Wolves tells a story. Whether you care about fighting game stories or not, I would recommend you to check out the arcade or the new episodes of Southtown mode to understand the world of Southtown and the concept so that you can connect with the characters more. Just because SNK also cares. They care about the world of Fatal Fury and its characters so much that you could see important figures like Duck King, Kim Jae-hoon, Andy Bogard, Kim Kapwan, and Joe Higashi during the arcade mode. Well, although Andy and Joe will be added to City of the Wolves as free DLC characters this season, just to see Duck King or Ryo Sakazaki even in the arcade mode with full voiceover shows the care SNK has. After a year of the events of Mark of the Wolves, Rock Howard finds himself pulled deeper into the legacy of Geese Howard, as a son searching for the truth. Alongside Kine R. Heinlein, his uncle and ideological counterpoint, Rock begins investigating the fate of Marie Heinlein, Kane's sister and Rock's mother, long presumed dead, but she's alive and being held captive. Mr. Big holds Marie captive and demands the full inheritance left behind by Geese Howard. This inheritance is not just money or property, but power. The power that shaped Fatal Fury 3 back in 1995. With the Jin Scrolls appearing again, another King of Fighters tournament takes place, Geese's inheritance being the reward. The cast of Mark of the Wolves find themselves again competing, with Mai Shiranui and Billy Khan also joining the roster as the Legacy Fatal Fury members. And while Cristiano Ronaldo and EDM DJ Salvatore Ganacci also included to the roster of City of the Wolves. With currently 17 characters on launch and 5 new characters coming as free DLC, City of the Wolves has something for everybody. At the heart of City of the Wolves lies its most ambitious mechanic, the new Rev system. If you have played Street Fighter 6, its drive system might feel familiar. However, Rev feels more volatile, it acts like a pulse, or rather like a tension. It builds, allowing you to cancel and bind special moves into another, It overheats when you overdo your rev art carelessly or defend too much, leaving you exposed. Every action, whether attacking, guarding, or cancelling into enhanced moves, builds your rev meter. Basically, managing your rev is a constant mental tug of war. It is the fundamental resource management of City of the Wolves. It allows you to do high damage as well as longer combos, allowing you to position yourself and evaluate the situation. Once you enter overheat, you lose your rev options for a while and your defense becomes fragile, giving your opponent a chance to guard break you for a huge opening. Basically, it's like Burnout from Sapphire 6 but with a unique Fatal Fury twist. Then there's SPG, Selective Potential Gear, which you choose before each match where you want to place your SPG on your health bar, as early, middle, or late. When you hit that threshold, your character unlocks new potential, accessing the rev lows, which is kinda similar to Drive Impact of Sapphire 6, Hidden Gear, which is your highest damage dealing super move and increased damage overall. Putting your SPG at the head of your health bar lets you rush down immediately, putting pressure and letting you control the flow. A middle SPG can let you balance things, while a late SPG allows you for a hard yet impactful comeback. With SPG and rev system shaping the gameplay of City of the Wolves, we have mainly the rev blows with cinematic, armor-breaking strikes that are available to be unleashed once you have hit your SPG zone. Rev Axel allows you to cancel special moves and weave together rev arts and rev blows into longer combos that involve both normals and specials. And the last, the Rev Guard, is more than just an average block. Rev Guard lets you create space after a successful defense. It literally pushes opponent back further than a standard guard, while nullifying any kind of chip damage from the special moves. The downside of the Rev Guard is that they build your Rev gauge, so you are constantly evaluating if you should do a Rev Guard here to survive or try to just defend it to nullify the damage as well as end up with better frames to punish your opponent. City of the Wolves might look like a high-turned, aggressive fighting game, but it also includes some of the best defending tools as well. And these are just defense and hyper defense, creating a whole other level of gameplay as defense tools that create opportunity for offense. Again, City of the Wolves doesn't just stop here. If you are the type of player who enjoys outsmarting your opponent with fake outs and cancel tricks, then you're going to love Feints and Breaks. Feint lets you pretend to throw out a special move only to cancel it midway through the startup animation. You basically either kill your frames, confuse your opponent, get closer to them, or make them flinch with your feints. In high-level play, feints are used for frame kills and for mind games. They are not just basic fake outs that you can spam. And in City of the Wolves, you can even feint from normal strings, meaning your block pressure becomes even scarier if the opponent doesn't have solid reactions, giving a unique rhythm to your offense. Meanwhile, Breaks gives you a different kind of control, allowing you to cancel certain specials before you fully do them, letting you cancel into normals, specials, or supers immediately. You can throw out a heavy special move like Rising Uppercut, break cancel it on hit or block, and instantly follow up with a different special, whether it be a jump in or just to keep the pressure going. Basically, it's like turning a minus into a plus. And when all of this clicks, SPG, rev moves, feints and breaks, City of the Wolves becomes one of the most richly flavored fighting games out there. And believe it or not, we still haven't touched on defensive techs that lets you steal back momentum at the just right moment. Despite its new image and flow, City of the Wolves never forgets its roots. We have talked about the mechanics that allow you to cancel one special to another, flavor your combos in your favor to be creative, and it is time to delve into the mechanics that bring out the defense and also rewarding it with counterattack. Just Defend returns from Garou, rewarding perfectly timed blocks with reduced pushbacks and meter gain. It is a high-risk, high-reward defensive tool that encourages timing mastery. Just defense has basically no limit, meaning that you can just defend any projectiles, you can just defend normals or even special moves. Meanwhile, hyper defense works as an advanced guard mechanic that activates when you time a forward input during a block string. Timing-wise, it's extremely strict, but rewards you with better frame advantage and faster counterattack options. Think of it as a parry-like mechanic layered on top of just defense. The real beauty lies in how these gameplay mechanics, how these aggressive and defensive aspects stack with each other. Just defend allows you to nullify the pressure, while hyper defense lets you cut through it, as you are being rewarded for taking the risk. This is what's interesting and captivating about City of the Wolves. It doesn't rely on sheer aggression or pure turtling. It thrives in the correct choices of these two sides and definitely doesn't want you to sit still. City of the Wolves may rely on its roots, but it's also renewed and redefined as a modern fighting game experience that is worth your time. Let's address the elephant in the dojo. Fighting games are intimidating, they can be frustrating, and can be also quite demotivating if you're a newcomer. SNK knows this, and their answers are smart style control scheme that simplifies the inputs, and offline single-player game mode called Episodes of Southtown, where you can play any character you want, maybe learn what each character does, their rev blows, their specials, and whatsoever. With this smart style control combined with arcade and Episodes of Southtown modes, newcomers can just easily hop in, mash with purpose, get a feel for spacing, timing, and pressure. Downside of the smart style is it doesn't give you feints, breaks, and some other advanced mechanics. As you try to get used to City of the Wolves' dynamics and how overall flow of the fights take shape, the arcade mode is complete with character-specific intros, mid-bosses, and endings that are entertaining and taking the narrative further with 90s SNK flair. Episodes of Southtown, on the other hand, turns the whole journey into a bit of a RPG-like experience. You pick a character, travel across a node-based map, fight enemies to gain experience points, and progress a narrative that is focused on each character's development that leads to the King of Fighters tournament and Geese's legacy. Each character gets their own story arc, while the presentation leans on static art and text. Episodes of Southtown could have been better with more illustrations, cutscenes, or characters appearing, but at least this is where City of the Wolves' budget becomes obvious. SNK totally focused their budget, their energy, and their creativity towards the character designs, the gameplay mechanics, and the overall art, and it really shows. When the City of Wolves was first announced, there were some concerns. Sadly, SNK's track record with initial online stability isn't bright. Both KOF 15 and Samurai Shodown had issues, but here's the surprise. SNK actually listened. During the open beta, players were quite vocal about what fell off, and SNK acted on it. With crossplay and solid rollback netcode, I would say City of the Wolves might have one of the best connections among modern fighting games. In regard to online matchmaking, or ranked to be precise, there is, however, one personal issue. Ranked match progression is not based on character you play but your overall progression. When you want to give ranked a chance, you can either start from scratch as a newcomer or pick maybe rookie, D or C rank and then start grinding from there. Basically, it is up to you to change characters during your ranked experience. I still find it better than Guilty Gear Strive's floor rank system, but I would definitely prefer a character ranked system that motivates me to learn different characters when I reach a certain point with my main. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves isn't just a sequel. A reminder that SNK, even with smaller budget and a decades-long gap, can still go toe-to-toe with the giants. It is a love letter to fans who grew up watching Terry toss his cap, and a bold invitation to newcomers who have never heard of Southtown before. City of the Wolves brings legacy, style, mechanical brilliance, and a hunger to compete back to the fighting game community. City of the Wolves has a solid foundation, and with the first season DLC characters being free, its future looks brighter than ever. As always, thank you for watching today's video. Which character has turned out to be your main in City of the Wolves? Any humble support through Patreon and YouTube join is really appreciated, and I will see you soon in my next video.